Testing, testing. All right. Say something, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, now we have audio. All right. Thank you. Thank
Oh
you
my God.
for that. No, it looks like OBS because Elgato Wavelink updated I don't know why it does that. OBS defaults to a different microphone source. So then there was no thing, and I hate that it does that. So we are gonna, I guess, redo the intro here because we do this. We do upload the podcast on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So we will continue going from there. So once again, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 154. I'm your host, James, and I am joined by the Dress for Your Master, the dominant himself, Bryant.
Live from Netherrealm, I guess.
And of course, the fanboy himself, Phaneckswhy.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. I apologize for the audio difficulty. Appreciate you guys for in chat for letting us know. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. OBS and Discord actually did this earlier. I should have caught on to that. When the Wavelink app, which is what I use for the audio, so I can kind of separate everybody's audio. So I know like I can mute a certain section of audio, have like my browser play or have my browser on mute, and I can have like audio playing in the background and so forth. So that now everybody can hear it. That application I use had an update. I updated it, and then every time it updates, it tends to default microphones all the way back. So yeah, I apologize for that. But anyways, we do got quite a few things to talk about today. We are going to talk about a certain Microsoft game coming to PlayStation and the PS2's anniversary, as well as a remake that might have a secret ending. But before we get into that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow over on Twitch as well if you're watching over there, or if you're not watching over there, go ahead and hit a follow over there as well. Mainly do my priority is kind of YouTube, like Twitch is just there just to be there, but yeah, you can always hit a follow over there. Anyways, we are gonna go ahead and dive into what we've been playing since we haven't started a podcast with what we've been playing in quite a minute. Usually I've left that towards the end if we have nothing else to talk about. So Brian, go ahead. Start us off.
So as I was saying, I got into a whole spiel. Last week I was talking about how I bought the Asus Xbox Ally X. I was digging it a lot. And long story short, the USB-C ports on it stopped working completely, where I couldn't charge it, couldn't hook up any accessories to it. The USB-C ports were just kaput. I tried reformatting Windows using a different SSD. No matter what I did, it would not charge. It wouldn't go to. And the thing is, I couldn't even like reset Windows either. I couldn't reset the SSD in it because it wouldn't let me reset it without being plugged into a power source. So I'd plug it in, but it didn't recognize that it was plugged in, so I couldn't even reset Windows. So I had to return that hard drive. So I had to like completely take apart, not completely take apart, but like take apart a decent deal my gaming PC to be able to plug in the external hard drive into it so I could wipe it before I returned it, just because I don't feel good about returning something that I used without formatting it first. So I went ahead and I format. So I had to like take all my stuff out, put the hard drive in, format it real quick, take it out, put all my stuff back in, and then I had to go to return it and all that. And I was like thinking about maybe I should get another one. But Best Buy doesn't have them until the middle of December, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this, especially after my first time having it, and it's already gonna have busted USB-C ports. And there were other little issues too I was running into, but like I said, I was willing to kind of overlook them and power through. But then the USB-C ports were kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And so I just kind of decided against keeping it, and I realized that my Steam Deck never had any problems like that. And from now on, I'm sticking with my Steam Deck until Valve releases a new one. I don't foresee me going back to a Windows handheld. Maybe I would, but after investing so much in selling my old one and no doubt losing money in the process between selling and buying and all the rest, I'm not going to be doing that, you know, anytime soon.
Did you ever open up the Ally X before this? I'm just curious. Like, did you like change out like an SSD in it or anything at all?
Yeah. So when I bought it, it came with a 1 terabyte SSD, and I bought a 4 terabyte
Hmm.
SSD, and so I took the SSD out and I put the 4 TB in, and I used it for like a couple days, and it was going great. And then all of a sudden, the USB-C port stopped working.
No, I'm just curious. I was thinking maybe something was unplugged or something like that. And you tried both USB-C ports and neither of them will
Yep,
work? Oh, man.
nothing. Nope.
Oh, that kind
And
of
I even
sucks.
like when you take it apart on the back, there is like a ribbon cable that can, and I'm sure you know this because you have a Rogue LIX,
Mhm.
and because it's the same innards, where there's a ribbon cable that connects the back plate to
Mhm.
the motherboard, and I'd even like tried reattaching that to see if that would make a difference, and it didn't make a difference.
Mhm.
Curiously, what's really interesting too is that when I would have it completely powered off after opening up the back, because I don't know if the LAX is the same way, but in order to turn on the LAX or the Xbox LAX, in order to turn on again after you have the back taken apart, you
Yes, you
have to
plug it
plug it
into
into a
power.
power source.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so when I did that, the fans would rev, indicating that it indicates, or it knows that it has power plugged into it, but it just wouldn't, like, the BIOS wouldn't accept that it was being charged. It was so bizarre, and it was really irritating. So that was annoying. And so luckily I didn't sell my dock, at least my Steam dock. So I still have that. That's something I didn't have to buy. But kind of a really awesome part of the story is that when I was selling my Steam Deck, I was selling my 2 TB micro SD with it, and sold it for a very good price and everything like that. I sold the micro SD, the Steam Deck,
Yeah, you
and
broke it,
the
right?
two. What'd you say?
You broke it, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. So I knew I couldn't have the micro SD in there. I took it out, no problem. I unscrewed the back. I swapped out the SSDs for the guy that I'm selling it to. Put the back plate back on. Put the micro SD in. I'm like, okay, I'm going to ship this off to this guy, but I wanted to turn it on real quick to make sure that everything worked before I sent it. And I'm like, and I tested it, and the controls didn't work, and I realized that I forgot to reattach a ribbon cable that you unhook to make putting in an SSD a little easier. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna unscrew it real quick and yank it off, and I totally forgot that I put the micro SD card back in there, and so that snapped. So that's a 2 TB SSD card, or a 2 TB micro SD card down the drain, and that's just, it's like $170. So at that point, you just have to laugh and just kind of be angry at Valve for engineering it um, to even have that, where if you leave a micro SD in, that it's going to snap if you try to take it apart. Like, it seems like such an easy solution would just be to have the SSD card module like soldered to the motherboard and have that just completely separate from the back plate. I don't know
Yeah.
why they have to like come together like that, but it is what it is. So I did break the micro SD card, and that's not the first time I've done that, by the way. I broke a 2 TB micro SD card the same way, or not a similar way, like several months ago, and that was another 180 in the trash. So I'm hopefully it never happens again. So that's fun. But anyway, so that was my Xbox LAX story. And now just back with the Steam Deck. So as far as what I've been playing, I played a lot of Ninja Gaiden 4 last weekend.
Nice.
Very much enjoying it. What'd you say?
I said nice.
Yeah. Very much enjoying it. It's very good looking. I think I talked a little bit about it last week, but I played a lot more of it over like the next couple days after our podcast. And that game is hard. It is very difficult. At least I've heard that there's been some difficulty spikes in it. And that first boss, man, that thing wrecks you. And it took me a few tries to get it. I did eventually. But I'm liking it. But something that I don't like is that there's a lot of monster closets where it's just enemies that, like, just nonstop enemies are coming out of the woodwork to just wreck you. And the combat system is great, and so you kind of like the combat system, or you like the opportunity to use the combat system to fight endless hordes of enemies. But at the same time, it just gets kind of repetitive, because it's like you go to one area, you fight 1,000 enemies. You go to another area, fight 1,000 enemies. And there's some platforming in it, a lot more actually that I've found in Ninja Gaiden 4 than the previous Ninja Gaiden games. There's a lot more platforming, like going between like ninja, what do you call it? Shadow running or something like that, or
Mhm.
stepless running, like where you run on walls. There's a term for it, but where you run on walls, and like where you do the wall jumps back and forth to like get up to a higher level and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool stuff like that, and that helps break it up a little bit. But I definitely want to go. I want to go further into it before I give a final verdict on it. But I'm enjoying it. And then also, given the intro, I am playing Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which is a game that I was very much looking forward to, just because Mortal Kombat is very nostalgic for me. Growing up, a buddy of mine played it all the time, specifically Mortal Kombat 2 on Super Nintendo. Just played it all the time, and the lore was always very interesting to me. And the Mortal Kombat movie with
Hmm.
the dude from Highlander, what's his name, Christopher Lambert, I
Yeah.
think he played Raiden or whatever. Yeah, that movie is very nostalgic for me. It's like, it's not like the best movie, but it's not bad either. Just like a silly good action movie or whatever. So I've been playing that, and something that I've come to the conclusion about is that, like, either I've become awful at video games, or Mortal Kombat was always insanely difficult. Because I can't even beat like the second level in on the SNES for Mortal Kombat 2, and I remember pretty vividly getting to the last boss in Mortal Kombat 2 like all the time when I was a kid, and now I can't even beat like the second level, and it's really demoralizing. And so I'm like trying to remember the move. You can like put the moves on the screen. You can learn how to do the moves and have them as a reference and stuff, which I need and everything. But the game is incredible as far as how much stuff they packed into it. You can play Mortal Kombat from all the consoles, 2 from all the consoles, 3 from all the consoles, Ultimate, Trilogy, Mortal Kombat Mythology is Mortal Kombat Special Forces, Mortal Kombat Advance. Like it is all the games crossed off the list. Like the only ones that really I think should be in this collection are from there's a bunch of Mortal Kombat games on PlayStation 2, like Deadly Alliance, and then there was like Mortal Kombat 9 that came out in 2011. That was like a reboot that hasn't been brought back from like the PS3, Xbox 360 era. So I'd like to see those maybe like in a part 2 collection. But it's really cool just
Is
as far as like all the
what
stuff
is it?
they packed
Isn't
into
wasn't
it.
there a Mortal Kombat like Sub-Zero where you play as Sub-Zero? It's like an
Yeah, that's what I
action.
Yeah.
said.
Oh, you did say
Yeah,
that. I'm
Mortal
sorry,
Kombat
I missed that.
Mythology Sub-Zero. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they have the PlayStation version of that, even though there was an N64 version as well. They just have the PlayStation version. I'm assuming it's because the PlayStation version had live action
Was
cutscenes, and
was
the
that the
N64
one?
version. Hmm?
So you talking about a Sub-Zero?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub Zero.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a game. Then what was the GameCube and like there was like a GameCube and PS2 one. I thought that was Sub-Zero. Was that a different one?
No,
Hmm.
maybe Special Forces.
I don't.
That was on PS2, and
Because I
I think, or
remember
no, maybe it was on PlayStation. I don't know. I don't
hmm.
remember.
Okay, maybe I'm
But
misremembering.
yeah. So it's not very. Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub Zero isn't very good, but it's, has its place. But as I was saying, it's just the PlayStation version, I think, because the N64 version is identical. I believe, from what I've heard, except the N64 version where there's cinema scenes. In the
Hmm.
PlayStation version, like live action video, it's just stills with like dialogue underneath it. So I assume that's why they put the PlayStation one in there, because it's probably like the definitive version of it for all intents and purposes. And then there's also Mortal Kombat Trilogy is just the PlayStation version too, even though there's an N64 version. I don't know why they didn't include the N64 version as well, but maybe that one's considered definitive as well. But yeah, so I'm playing that too. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've really been picking at game wise. No, I guess not. I've been pretty busy, but those are the three. Oh wait, what was I playing? Oh, I was playing Luigi's Mansion. I'll talk about that. That'll be my last one. I was playing
Oh, I
Luigi's
did see
Mansion
that.
today. Yeah, yeah, I was playing that for like 5 hours today, and yeah, it's man, it's really interesting because I remember when I was a kid and seeing, and I'm sure you guys can attest to this. I remember when I saw Luigi's Mansion when I was a kid, I was blown away by how great it looked as far
Mhm.
as like the animation and like the flashlight and like the reflections of the mirror and how the ghost looked and all the like smoke effects and the dust and
Yeah.
how fabric would move with the vacuum cleaner. And there was just lots of cool little quirky things that were in there that I thought made it kind of special. And a lot of people, I believe, kind of not dumped on it, but just weren't that thrilled with it because it wasn't, Super Mario 64. It wasn't like that caliber of launch game. It was just kind of like a cool Luigi game that launched with GameCube, as opposed to Super Mario Sunshine, which came out, 8 months later or 9 months later, or whatever, 10 months later, whatever it was. So I'm playing that too, and I'm not gonna lie, like the way you control the flashlight and not the vacuum's okay, but the way you control the flashlight with like the right control stick it doesn't feel great. It feels very imprecise, and maybe that's part of the challenge is how imprecise it is. If it was too easy, then it'd be too easy to like light up ghosts and catch them and stuff. I find some of the puzzles a little obtuse. Like there was this one puzzle where you've played it, right, James? You've played Luigi's Mansion extensively.
Not the first one. I've played only 2 and 3.
Okay, Fan, did you play Luigi's Mansion at all?
No.
No. Okay.
I was
Um,
gonna say I was that guy that was like when Luigi's Mansion came, I was like, oh, this is kind of lame. I don't want a Luigi game. Like I want a Mario
right. That's what I'm
game.
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, um, there's this room, and I don't know if this is just the way my brain works, but there's this room that you go into in this late in the game, early in the game, where you have to. There's a bunch of instruments lined up. There's like a xylophone. There's like a cello, a piano. What are they called? I don't know why I can't think of what they're called, but they're big percussion instruments that you go like this on. They're
They're
not bongos.
bongos. Oh,
No, they're not bongos. They're timpanis. I think they're timpanis actually. And like they're all lined up, and so I hit A on all of them to make them start playing, and they start playing the Mario Brothers theme. And no matter like nothing would happen after I made them all start playing. And there's three timpanis that are lined up, and so I went over and pressed A to start the playing of the timpanis, and then I pressed A on the cello or whatever. I pressed A on the xylophone. They all started playing the music. And according to like this walkthrough I'm looking at, because I couldn't figure out why I couldn't make anything happen after making all the instruments start playing, it's because you have to hit A on each individual timpani. And I figured in my musician head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to press A by the timpanis, and that means the timpanis are going to play. It's like, no, you have to play each individual timpani. And so I did that, and then all of a sudden the ghost appeared, and then you fight it and stuff like that. So I find that some of the I don't know, maybe it speaks badly of me that I find some of the puzzles in the game a little obtuse, but overall I've been able to figure it out pretty well. But I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna go through it all the way. I figure it's a really friendly, safe. It's a horror. It's not a horror game, but it's like
no.
a spooky. It's a spooky game, or whatever. I guess it's like a fun spooky game. Like
It's supposed to be a
what?
kids friendly version, but like I remember my son, my 6-year-old, I let him play some new Luigi's Mansion 3 and he had a nightmare that night. So I was like, yeah, no more. You're not playing.
Really?
Yeah. Like even though it's like
Wow.
a very
Okay.
like you said, like it's a a silly like horror game,
It's
but
like the Haunted Mansion Disney ride. Like that's
hmm
technically spooky, but it's not really that spooky. It's like
yeah.
funny and fun and different.
No,
So
but
those are the
like
things I've been playing.
kids see things scarier than what they are. Like I remember
It's
being
true.
scared of the dude in Lost Woods that steals your rupees. Like when he runs around and like like if he bumps
Oh,
into
and Link
you,
to the Past.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. I was like, what the heck is that guy doing? And you can't hurt
yeah,
him either. He just like backs away. It's like,
exactly.
dude, I'm gonna stab you with this sword. Like, why doesn't the game let me do it?
And I
He's
used
a
to be
thief.
scared. Like every time he would show up, I would run away and like my heart would just be racing because I was scared of that guy.
That's funny.
Huh. Yeah, go ahead.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? Gotcha.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I was gonna dive into Luigi's Mansion, but like I'm stuck playing Pokemon Legends ZA. I've just been playing that nonstop. And it's funny, I looked through my timer. I was like, man, I only have 13 hours in that game. I don't have that much time. Everybody else that I know that I have on my friend list has like 50 hours in that game. I'm only 13
Jeez.
hours. I was like, I don't know how you guys have that much time. I'm playing almost every night. I mean, there's been a couple nights I haven't. What was it like last week? I was sick, so I didn't play as much. And then this week there was a couple of nights I was just tired. I was like, I'm going straight to sleep. I'm not going to even play it. Like yesterday, I ended up playing a little bit, and I gotta say, the more I play it, the more I enjoy it. But at the same time, the more I feel like Legends Arceus just has a better story and setting overall. It it's not knocking Legends ZA. I think it's a really fun game. I think it's a really good game. I would put it in like Zelda games, right? Like typically Zelda games are all fun, but some of them are better than others. I would say it's kind of like that where it's still really fun. I'm still really enjoying it. There's a lot of good quality of life stuff. I love the combat mechanics of the real-time mechanics. I do love that. Playing online is actually kind of fun. Like I found myself wanting to do more matches and get ranked up. I do find that pretty fun. And I don't really enjoy the side quests a lot. I think a lot of it's like filler side quests. Some of them are cool, like you get side quests to get the original starters for X and Y. You just have to do a side quest, and then you kind of recruit those starters onto your team, which is kind of neat. I like the wild zones. They're pretty decent. I just feel like they don't level up enough, or like as you expand with the story, more areas kind of like unlock, so you have to kind of keep going with the story to do anything else. So where I'm at, I'm kind of very like overpowered for the story, so I'm one-shotting everybody, which is to be expected. So I started leveling up like my weaker Pokemon and kind of messing around with my team. But I'm really enjoying it. I do like it. I just wish I wish I would have done like some type of prequel or something like that. I just think it was kind of cool the way Legends Arceus was, the different environments and everything. I'm just very bored of the city environment in Lumiose. Like the more I play it, the more I'm like, man, this could have been so much better if it let us get out of this city. Even though the city is pretty big, I am using fast travel a lot to move around the city because it is that big. But I just don't wanna be in a city all the time. I wanna move other places. It's kinda like Final Fantasy VII Remake, being in Midgard the whole time. After a while, you're kinda like, "Alright, I kinda wanna explore, like, different areas." It's kinda like that in that sense, so anyways, I'm probably gonna just finish the story and then dive into Dragon Quest II, or Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D because I'm super excited about that. Fan, what have you been playing?
Did you ever beat 3?
No, I didn't. I got up to, like, I'm almost halfway, and then I just, like, kinda, like, stopped.
Mm.
Yeah, part of it, so I have this habit. There's very few games that this happens to, but I have this habit where I get to a certain part and I know what is coming. I was like, "Oh, man, Imma dread this part," and I'll stop right there because I remember what's coming, and I don't wanna go beyond that point. So that's kinda where I'm at in Dragon Quest III. It's like, I could continue. I'm finding, like, the orbs in Dragon Quest III. There's a part where you have to find the orbs, to kinda, like, go further, and you'll unlock, like, your flying vehicle. It's not really a vehicle, but Imma say flying vehicle because I don't wanna give away what it actually is, and then it kinda, like, expands, and that's kind of when you get towards the ending of the game. But, I'll talk a little bit more on why I wanna play 1 and 2 HD 2 yeah, 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. Oh, man, so many, like, numbers there. Why I wanna play that later on. Fan, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing much, because I got like the the plates for my PS5
Mhm.
Pro and got the Vitcher glasses, so I've been testing the like hardware out mostly. I did play the Persona 3 demo on the Switch 2.
Okay, the reload?
What is that? Is that Reload?
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually looked pretty good on the glasses.
It looks great,
Um,
like, I was surprised when I started hearing there's a bunch of frame rate issues 'cause if you play the demo, there is no issue, at least where I'm at. Like, I haven't gone
yeah.
into, Tartarus yet. Like, I'm inside Tartarus, I haven't started going, like, due to the floors, but it looks great to me. It looks better than the Steam Deck. I'll tell you that because I played Persona 3 Reload on the Steam Deck, and I think it looks better. It just runs at 30 FPS.
Yeah, I hope they update the other one, Persona 5 from the
Mhm.
Switch 2,
That'd be cool.
because that
Yes.
one is just stuck on like in handheld mode. It's stuck in 720p.
I think it's even lower
We're talking
resolution than that.
Yeah.
Are we talking about, later in the news about the update that got announced today for Switch 2?
Yeah,
Certain
we'll do that in
certain
small news.
Horizon? Okay, so make sure we know about that. Okay, continue.
Yeah, continue, fan.
No, just that, like, because the Persona 3 looks so good, the demo looks so good on the Switch 2, but Persona 5 looks like crap,
Yeah,
and I rather play it on, my PC because it looks so much better.
yeah.
I'm
Are you
I'm
feel
hoping they update it.
are do you think you'll be using your Switch 2 a lot more now that you have it versus like your ROG Ally X or not?
I think so.
That's where I'm at now. Like I have my Steam Deck here, and it's full of dust. My ROG Ally X there is like full of dust because I haven't really touched it. Like I was gonna touch it yesterday, but then in my head I remembered, oh man, I'm gonna have to update, and it takes like 10 hours to update one thing because I don't know what's going on with ROG Ally X. And like, nah, I'm good. I'll just stick to my Switch 2 for now. But like part of me, like I was gonna turn it on because I wanted to play Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I don't know why, but I just wanted to play it. And I was like, no, I'll just wait. I'll wait there. All right, let's go ahead and start talking about some small news. There was a surprise announcement yesterday. I was surprised when I happened upon this, and I'm kind of excited for One Piece. Not One Piece the anime. I mean, for one piece of this announcement.
I
I should be
immediately
more
thought that's
clear.
what you were talking about.
One piece of this announcement there. Resident Evil Requiem, right? So there's a bunch of stuff that were showing off, and Capcom announced a Resident Evil Requiem amiibo of Grace, which I thought was kind of cool. This will be the first Resident Evil amiibo ever, honestly. And I think it's kind of cool. Now, Capcom is no stranger to having amiibos. They've done the Monster Hunter amiibos multiple times. They have Ryu and Ken amiibos. We have the Street Fighter 6 amiibos. They are more recent. Oh yeah, speaking of Capcom amiibos, yeah. So you got Ken right here, there. So they have amiibos. They've done multiple. It's just we've never gotten something like Resident Evil, and I think that's kind of cool. So that is probably an amiibo I'm going to pick up. I'm excited for it, and I'm wondering if we've talked about it multiple times on the podcast, but there is a rumor, and supposedly it has been leaked that Leon is a main character in there. There was this I'm not sure if you guys saw it like somewhere on
GameStop DLC, I think.
yeah, they showed that
Yeah.
there's costumes for also
Costumes.
Leon, and it's kind of one of those things like this. If Leon is true and this comes out, it's going to be the worst kept secret ever because before Resident Evil Requiem was even announced, it was announced that Leon was going to be in this game, which I thought was kind of funny. So, anyways, I'm kind of hoping if Leon is true and he is in this game, they also do an amiibo for Leon. I think that would be pretty dope, and I will pick that up definitely day one. But not only that, they're doing a Switch 2 Pro controller, which I thought doesn't look good at all, and it does not convince me to go ahead and buy it. But if you are a diehard Resident Evil fan, hey, you can go ahead and buy that controller. I just don't think it's that great looking. They could have done a lot better when it came to that controller, or actually, they probably should just not have done a controller at all, in my opinion. And then there is a triple pack that is available on the eShop right now. It's, I believe, what is it? $90. I think it is. No, 70. Oh, it's $80.
It's either 80
Yeah.
or 90. Okay, $80.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's $80. It gives you Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil Village, and Resident Evil 7, which I think is a pretty good deal. Like if you're gonna buy all three of those games anyways, you're literally getting Village and Resident Evil 7 for $5 each.
I'll be picking that up.
Requiem is like $70. Yeah, me too. Like I was gonna buy
Yeah.
a game key card, but I'm like for $80, I might as well just pre-order this because I'm gonna pick up Village and Resident Evil 7 anyways. And it looks like Village comes with the DLC because when
It
you
does.
look
It's
at
the
it,
gold edition for both.
okay, that's what I thought. So like it has all the DLC and everything. So not a bad deal for all three of those games. I am hoping they didn't announce this, but I am hoping for Resident Evil 2 remake, 3 remake, and 4 remake.
Non-cloud.
Yeah, non-cloud to come to Switch
Yeah.
2 because that'd be pretty awesome, and I will pick up those as well. As I don't know about you, but I feel like I like the remake still better than Village and 7.
Or they just re-release also the freaking Kingdom Hearts games as actual
Yes.
physical.
That'd be nice.
And Control and everything that's cloud. I think they should release everything that's cloud. Is like, I don't even care if they charge like $5 or $10 for an upgrade to make you have like a regular copy of it, but they need to get those off of cloud for Switch 2. I mean,
yeah, like Hitman was cloud, and that also came over. That was a launch game for Switch 2. But yeah, those were all cloud games, and then now you had the Hitman. I forget what they called it, but it's the collection of all three
World
Hitman
of
games.
Assassination or something like that.
Yeah, I believe you're right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're a Resident Evil fan, it's kind of cool that they announce all those things, and yeah, we gotta wait till February to be able to play that. So I'm excited for that. Another announcement they got announced today because Nintendo likes to do these like silent announcement drops. But Animal Crossing, Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting a Switch 2 update, which I thought was kind of I don't know, unexpected. I didn't think they were going to touch Animal Crossing again, but you're getting a Switch 2 update, and you're also getting a free update. Now, I myself, I don't know, Brian, did you get into Animal Crossing?
No, my girlfriend was obsessed with it during the pandemic. I
Okay.
bought it because it's first party Nintendo game and it has cachet and I want to support it and all the rest. But I played it a little bit and it's great, from what I played. But it's just there's so much other stuff to play that I
Yeah.
went on to other things. But yeah, Switch 2 updates should be really sharp.
What about you, fan? No.
I'm not into those like build your island, farm sim, like um chill type games.
I
Like
gotcha.
I couldn't get into Stardew Valley or none of that stuff. It's just not my thing.
So I had Animal Crossing, played it day one like everybody else. What really got me into Animal Crossing was the music. I really love the music in Animal Crossing. I have like a lot of the music in a lot of my videos on excuse me, on the channel. And I got this because like, oh, I know Animal Crossing is gonna have great music. And it did. But kind of like everybody else here, I was like, like I know what it's about. I got kind of bored, and then I just stopped playing it. I it's funny because like I used to love Harvest Moon as a kid. Like, I played Harvest Moon Back to Nature on PS1, bought it again on Game Boy Advance when they had that port. Again, I've mentioned this multiple times. Like my mindset's like, oh, the ability to play a console game in handheld mode was always amazing to me. So then, of course, when the Game Boy Advance version came out, I was super excited and got it on Game Boy Advance and replayed it all over again. But I don't know, like farming sims, I guess just don't. And I guess technically it's not a farming sim, but it is a farming sim at the
It's
same
kind
time.
of, yeah.
Yeah, they just don't hit me like it was when I was a kid. So, and before anybody says anything, I don't think Dragon Quest Builders is a farming sim. It's more like Minecraft, and there's actual story and there's combat. So like the combat is what draws me in, which is kind of fun. And it's Dragon Quest. I mean, come on, you can't hate on Dragon Quest. That was the announcement you were talking about, right, Brian? Or was there something
Yeah,
else that I
yeah, yeah.
missed? Okay, I was gonna say
Nope, that
like I
was
was
it. Yep.
thinking like, was there something else announced that I missed out? No, but yeah, that was announced. Do you remember the exact date it's coming?
January
Mm,
15th.
All right,
I was just about to say that. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
there you go, January 15th. So 2026 is gonna be pretty good year for Nintendo Switch 2 already. And it's funny, like I was looking back and I was thinking, what was it last week where we had a discussion of how many first party games like PlayStation, PS5 has had compared to like Switch and stuff like that. When you start looking at what Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2, I honestly think in the first year alone, the first 12 months of the Switch 2's lifespan, it's already going to have more first party games in general, more exclusives in general compared to the PS5 since launch. You guys agree?
Hmm.
You agree, Brian?
Yeah, I do. I think we talked about that last week, where it was just how we named how many bangers have come to Switch 2 in its first, not even its first year.
Hmm.
As far as like exclusives and games that really make it worth having, and how that's in comparison to other consoles. So yeah, it's very successful. It's yeah, I agree.
Cool. And the last bit of small news, something else you alluded to earlier, is Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D is out. Unfortunately, I did not pick it up because, like I said, I'm playing Pokemon Legends ZA, and I'm actually right now debating with myself internally, like, do I want to pick it up physically or just digitally? Like, I have a bunch of like eShop money that I can use to get it, but at the same time, it's like I have Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D on like physical. Like, do I want to have that physical as well? There's also a part of me is like, do I just pick it up on PC and just experience the best looking version of that game? Even though I know the Switch 2 version is going to look amazing. At least I hope it does. It doesn't look like you know some of the other games that don't look that great. But I can't pronounce it. Famitsu or Famitsu. There we go.
Famitsu?
There we go.
Famitsu?
Yeah. Famitsu has posted on Twitter that it seems like there's an embargo to not talk about the second end credits scene in Dragon Quest 1 and 2
I know what
HD.
it is.
You know what it is? You saw the spoilers already?
I got the scoop.
Uh-oh.
Got the scoop.
You got
You beat the game. and it says, "Thank you for playing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake." All of a sudden, the 1 and 2 are side by side, and there's like a fight or like a slash. It gets removed, and the 1 and 2 get put together, and says, "Welcome to Dragon Quest 12." Shadow drop right there.
Yeah,
Boom.
that would be funny if that happened.
Oh,
I think that would make everybody
I thought
go
it came
crazy.
together and it just says like now you got to play 3.
But in this, it's interesting because they alluded to the second credit scene, and specifically, I think they said Dragon Quest 2, which got me wondering. Has it? Nobody here has played Dragon Quest 11, right? Except for me.
I played 11 a little bit.
You haven't beat it though, right?
No, I didn't beat it. No.
Ah, shoot. I don't know if this is really considered spoilers. I feel like it's not. Um, do you mind if I say this, or you don't want me to? Do you know if you're ever gonna play Dragon Quest 11?
No, I am. I absolutely am. I actually got like maybe like a quarter of the way into it, but then I couldn't take the MIDI music anymore, so I stopped playing because I knew that the definitive version was coming out with the orchestrated.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll probably come back to it one day. So if it is like a major spoiler, like probably hold off. But if it's something that
It's
you think
not. I don't
might
think it's
know,
a
I don't know.
major spoiler, like a story spoiler. I mean, I'm different when it
Is it
comes to
about the
spoilers.
Luminary?
Is it what?
Is it about the Luminary?
No, it's not really
Okay.
character related. It's just what I think this is alluding to.
I know, like in the game, isn't it something like there like other Dragon Quest like worlds are in it or something like that in 11 or something? Okay, I don't
No.
know. You can just say it. It's fine.
All
I don't
right.
care.
So in Dragon Quest 11, you get to a part that you beat the game, credits roll, and then like it just takes you out and it takes you back to the main screen. Doesn't tell you anything. So a normal person would be like, okay, whatever. Like I beat the game, cool. Credits roll, I'm done. But and honestly, if I didn't know about this beforehand, I probably would have just shut off the game and be like, cool, I beat it. But what happens is if you load up your save file, like there's no star icon, there's nothing saying that you cleared the game.
New Game Plus
It
or
just goes
something.
there. There's no new game plus or anything. It
Yeah.
just shows the credits, and it's a long credit scene. It has all the little like how they do like there's pictures of like different events that happen. Just shows the credits, says the end, rolls you back into the start screen where you can load your file. If you choose load file, you start up in your village, and right away a quest pops up. You're like, oh, what's going on here? And the quest is not a side quest, it's a story quest. And guess what? The game actually continues. And that gives you like another like 30 hours of story. So yes, the
Oh
ending
wow.
of the game is not the actual ending of the game. There's a second part to the story, which is kind of cool. And that's after, spending 90 hours in the game thinking you
Gee.
beat it. And it's like, no,
It's a
that is
long
not the
game.
ending.
God.
It is a pretty long game. And it is done really well. I'm not going to tell you the story aspect of it because I think it's pretty awesome the way they do it. And a lot of people were actually happy with the way they did it and how they continued the story because it kind of makes sense of why they continued the story right away. And honestly, if they ended it there, you would understand too because it made sense too. But like when they continue, you're like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. But anyways, I'm wondering if Dragon Quest 2 has something similar where you beat the game, there's credits, and then the story continues, and they added maybe another like 10 hours to the game to maybe hint at what Dragon Quest 12 might be. I don't know. It might be wishful thinking, but I do think it's kind of interesting that there's a embargo for everybody to not to post anything. I forgot what the actual date was. 'Cause it's pretty out there. It's like November something to not post that stuff until like November something. I can't remember exactly what date it was. So
Just giving people time to play the game.
yeah, which is why I want to play. It's like, oh shoot, like you're telling me there's something else after Dragon Quest 2. Like this kind of got me excited because they put in a lot of effort in Dragon Quest 2. You wouldn't know this if you didn't play Dragon Quest 2, but Dragon Quest 2, they've done so much to it to make it a completely different game. This is more than Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. Like Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D had, yeah, they added a little bit of things, but for the most part, it's the same game. They added some minor tweaks here and there. Of course, graphically it looks better, but in Dragon Quest 2, they added a bunch more story content. Dragon Quest 1, they added a bunch more story content, more lore to the world. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to see where it goes from there. And if this leads into Dragon Quest 12, then now we have multiple games in the Dragon Quest 1 universe, which kind of makes people kind of sad because everybody wants to go back to the Dragon Quest 4, 5, and 6 universe. Since 1, 2, 3, and 11 are one universe, 4, 5, and 6 are another universe. 7 is its own thing. Some people speculate that it's part of 4, 5, and 6 because there are some similarities in terms of like what is going on, but I don't think so. And in 8, it's kind of its own thing as well. And 9 is also its own thing. And 10's an MMO, so it's its own thing as well. Kind of like Final Fantasy, except that there are things that are shared. Yes, people think Final Fantasy 10 takes place in Final Fantasy 7 universe because the guy in Final Fantasy
I've
10.
never heard of that.
You never heard that?
No, what's the theory?
The theory is in Final Fantasy 10-2, there's a guy who his name is Shinra. That's his actual name, is Shinra, and he says, "Oh, I have a cool idea to go ahead and use the world's energy, Spira's energy, to create different like weapons and stuff like that."
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's like a prequel, huh?
mm-hmm. That would be very interesting there. But that was just a theory. I think it's just an Easter egg. That's all it is.
Yeah, see, I bet it's
Yeah.
an Easter egg. Yeah.
Mhm.
They do that a lot.
Yeah, they do. That is true. That is true. All right, let's go ahead and start talking about our first major topic, and that is Halo.
Mm.
Halo is coming to PS5. And I feel bad because every time we have something major to talk about, it just seems as bad news for Xbox. And it's always just negativity across Xbox. It's not like I want to talk about the negativity on Xbox, but the minute they showed off Halo Campaign Evolved, which is a remake to the Halo 1 campaign, and then they showed off that it's coming to PS5. But not only that, in the presentation, I forgot what his name is, the guy who works for Microsoft, works for Xbox, has a PlayStation shirt on the whole time while he's talking about the game. I'm like, man, you really just do not care about Xbox.
Read the room, bro.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I think that we went, at least I had a huge spiel on this last week as far as Microsoft's role with exclusives and what they're going to do with hardware and what their role is going to be going forward, and if they're going to go the route of Sega, if they're, because I just keep reading how they're posting all these losses and stuff for like, excuse me, like for profit and everything. And I don't get what they're trying to do. They're trying to sell games on PlayStation, which they're doing very successfully. I mean, they're selling hand over fist. I'm sure Halo's going to sell really well on PlayStation just based on novelty alone. Never mind the fact the game's 24 years old and 25 years old by the time it comes out, or almost 25 years old. So I get it from a business sense in software sales, but if they're really intent on remaining a hardware company, I don't get why, if they just want to put their software everywhere. Because, all those rumors are coming out about what the next Xbox is going to be, the next Microsoft console is going to be, and it's talking about like a high-end PC hybrid thing or whatever. And it's like, okay, but we have PCs already, and like PCs have Steam on them. Like, what market are you trying to corner here? And so I think I don't know what they're doing. It makes no sense to me. They're going to sell a lot on PlayStation, but in the course of doing so, they're going to kill even further the brand that they have, and it just seems like they're really intent on burying it in a ditch and leaving it to die. Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Xbox fans, or like diehard Xbox fans since 2001 that have gotten all the consoles and have been warriors for Xbox. And I love, my friends on Xbox Live and the summer of arcade and, being there since the very beginning. But this is a kick in the teeth for them. This is Microsoft saying, like, we don't care about you anymore. We just want to put our games everywhere. Good for you. You bought our Series X that came out 5 years ago, and we don't really care. It just seems very ambivalent and yeah, not good for them.
Fan, you've never owned an Xbox at all, right?
No, I have. I
Yeah.
had a 360 and an Xbox One.
Okay. The original one, or did you get like the later version that didn't come with the Kinect?
Both at one point.
Okay.
Like I had one with the Kinect and then sold it, and then I got a later edition.
Ah, gotcha.
You sold the Kinect. That was an essential piece of hardware, man. What the heck? You're gonna order your clothes that way in the future.
Did you feel like not picking up
it's
the Series
Sit on my
X?
shelf.
Did you feel like not picking up the Series X? You felt like now for sure, like you dodge a bullet,
Oh
or
yeah.
did you know ahead of time, like, yeah, Xbox is not going anywhere?
Like when they announce all that stuff, I'm like, okay, cool. I'd rather game on my PC for Xbox related games and then just buy PS5 for like the exclusives on Sony.
You made the right choice.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
I think I dodged a bullet. Yeah.
You know,
Yep,
for me,
you
it's
did.
like when I picked up my Series X, I was excited and I played it a lot. I remember the first thing I did. You guys want to guess what was the first thing I did when I got my Series X?
Played Lost Odyssey.
What do you think, fam?
I assume you like loaded up some old games, like the backwards compatibility stuff.
The first thing I did was play Dragon Quest 12 or Dragon Quest 11.
I
I'm
was
sorry,
close.
Dragon Quest
I was
11.
close.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I went ahead and I was like, you know what? I'm playing Dragon Quest 11 again, and I did, and I played it for a very long time. Because they got added to Game Pass the same day. So I think I went to they didn't have a midnight launch. They had like a 5 a.m. launch or something like that. So I went in, got it, set up my Xbox Series X, and then I want to say my kids had school that same day, so I just stood up the rest of the day, and then played Dragon Quest 11 for quite some time. And then eventually, you know, I really enjoyed like Quick Resume. I thought Quick Resume is probably the best thing on that console, something that PS5 does not have. Quick Resume is amazing. Like I wish the PS5 had it. I wish PC was able to utilize that because it's very very cool. I like the ability to be able to, all right, I'm done playing Dragon Quest 11, but I want to play, I don't know, Elden Ring. I bought Elden Ring on the Series X. I want to play Elden Ring, and then I can go ahead and play there. And then when I'm done with Elden Ring, I can go back into Dragon Quest 11, and it's right where I left it. There's no loading, no anything. It's just instantly there. I can go ahead and continue playing. It is not the same with PS5 and in standby mode, because standby mode, you can only do one game at a time. Quick Resume, I believe, is up to 5 games at a time, which I always thought was pretty dope. Like Kingdom Hearts, I had the Kingdom Hearts collection on there. And I remember I didn't play Kingdom Hearts for like a month. And then finally I went and booted it up, and it was right where I left it, which was in a boss fight. I was like, great, I had to learn the controls again because it's been a month since playing. But it was right where I left it off. And I thought that was always kind of cool that they had that feature. And honestly, I'm surprised that nobody else has been able to do that, especially Sony with their fast SSD and all that other stuff that they got going on with it. I would have thought that they would have copied that feature, which copying isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes some features are pretty cool, and I wish they were on other platforms, and that is definitely one of them. Honestly, on a handheld, I thought that would be pretty cool, but I don't think it's doable because it has to be on and in on completely on state at all times. Which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. I think they changed that where even if you lose power, it you turn it like back on, it's still in those stored states. Because I know when it initially launched, like if you lost power, then that's it. Your quick resume was gone, and then you had to you had to pretty much start everything all over again. Do you remember if they changed that?
I don't know. I
Mm.
haven't taken advantage of Quick Resume enough to know that.
Gotcha. I use it a lot, like with Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations. That was the other cool thing about the Series X was all the upscaling for older games. Like honestly, Series X had the momentum in the beginning, in my opinion. I think they had everything going for it. Better backwards compatibility. They were upgrading a bunch of older games. Quick Resume
13 looked
was a
beautiful on it.
Yeah, like a lot of games. Sonic Unleashed looks amazing. It runs at 60 FPS, 4K. Sonic
Final Fantasy
Generations
12.
too.
It's the only place you can play Final Fantasy 12 at 60 frames per second besides
It
PC.
is. Yeah, that was on. Well, you play outside a lower resolution though. It's like 1080p, which is kind of lame. But yeah, that is
Whatever, I'll trade that.
that is the only place you can get 60 FPS Final Fantasy 12, and or in the only place you can get 4K Final Fantasy 10 because it's not 4K on PS the PS4 version that came out is not 4K. It's
Interesting. I didn't know that.
1080p. Yep.
Is it 4K in PC?
Yeah, you can do 4K on PC. Yeah.
Okay.
Or something like out of consoles at least. That's the only place you can get
Right.
that. So it had a lot of things going for it, and I think the one thing that everybody was waiting for was like exclusives, like good exclusives. And they did. They had like Forza Horizon something, whatever the one was in Mexico. They had that one. There was, I guess that was it actually. I can't think of anything
There's
else.
Gears 5 was an Xbox exclusive and PC
that Series
eventually
X?
too, or same day.
Oh yeah, it was right. Gears 5 was Series X.
Oh wait, was it? Or was that regular Xbox? I need to look that up. I could be
Yeah.
wrong about that. Hang on. I think I might be wrong about that.
Okay. Because there was
Let me look up
Gears
when it came out.
Judgment or the tactics game
Yeah,
was Series
Gears
X.
5 came out in 19, so I was wrong about that. Never
Okay,
mind.
gotcha.
I'm trying to think of other exclusives though.
There was the Gears remake they did, the first remake. Now they have another remake. Or was it an update? I don't remember. I thought it was a remake. Because Reloaded is the one that just came out, right?
Right.
Okay. I'm sure it was like another remake they did. It was Gears of War something. It was a remake of the original Gears of War for Series X. I'm almost positive that was it. Because they were giving everybody a free update to Reloaded if you bought it on Series X.
I'm looking up. I'm looking up right now.
Mhm.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Yeah. So that was a remake for that as well. And there was a tactics game, which I don't think I was saying
Gears
Judgment, but I
Tactics.
think Gears Tactics. There we go. I was saying Judgment, but
Yep.
Judgment is the other game. There was
Yep.
that. You had Dominion that came out, which was exclusive in the beginning, and I thought it was fun. Like I enjoyed the game. Some people hated on it, and that's fine. You don't have to like that game, but I thought it was pretty cool. And what else? I think that's it. That's all I can remember as of right now. But they had good momentum for the first 2 years or so, and then something just changed. They just slowly just started going downhill, and I don't know what happened there. And yeah, now we're at this state. In 5 years, I went from a great launch to like what's an Xbox? I guess everything is an Xbox now because you can play your Xbox games,
Everything's
right?
an Xbox.
Yeah, and like you said, I think you said it best. If everything's an Xbox, then nothing's an Xbox. That means you have no
Yep, I
platform.
stand by that.
Mm-hmm. So
When did the Series X came out?
2020.
2020.
It was like
Okay.
I think a month before PS5 or a week or two, maybe.
So I wonder if it had anything to do with them acquiring Activision Blizzard because they
I
put all
think
that money
so.
into that because that costs a lot.
I think there was an article and I think we talked about it last time that there was an article saying that they need was it 30% profit on everything Xbox because of the Activision Blizzard deal. And in order for them to make that profit, is they let go almost all of their Xbox team is gone. That's why they're shutting down all these studios, letting go all of that. Um, they have to put the games on multiple platforms to kind of rack in that money all over again.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I thought it was a bad move from the get go, and not for this reason, for different reasons. But it looks like it was a bad move. They spent too much money, and I don't
Yeah.
know what they were thinking. They thought
$74
maybe
billion.
they would keep it. Yeah, it's a lot of money for Activision Blizzard, and they spent a lot of money too on Bethesda. Those were two huge acquisitions that honestly hurt jobs in general for no reason whatsoever. And now you have the CEO. Did you guys see what the CEO of Microsoft said? What their biggest competition was? And I think
Yeah, like TikTok and stuff, and right.
yeah, he said the Xbox's biggest competition is TikTok and short form video. I'm like what?
I know what he means by that because at the end of the day, it is really about time. Like that is kind of true in a way,
Mhm.
but I don't think that's Microsoft exclusive. That's just any form of media that is created. It's in competition with any other media, and I really think that TikTok and Instagram and all the social media platforms, like they very much have take time away from what people could be doing that is actually productive. And yes, I consider video games more productive than social media.
Oh, for sure.
So I get what he was trying to say there, but at the same time, it comes across as really like high level to the point where fans of Xbox could be like, "Do you know what industry you're in? Like you should say your competitors are Sony and Nintendo. You want to create awesome software experiences gaming wise on those for your platform to compete against theirs, and not really talk about like the overall competitiveness of time between other like forms of media because that just comes across as kind of like I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't sound great. Not a good sound bite.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Mhm.
Well, do you think Microsoft could like levy off some of their expenditures by like going into other forms of media? Because like the Halo series didn't do great. It went for 2 seasons. It was like fine,
Mhm.
right? But obviously they made some money because they sold the license to Paramount to like produce that and air it and stream it and stuff like that. So could they do that with some of the other stuff with Bethesda IP, Blizzard IP, Activision IP, and like kind of because I mean freaking Fallout on Amazon Prime,
Yeah.
season 1 was it was a hit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they as long as you have a solid story with a nice IP to back it, you can have a hit.
Well, you have
Unfortunately, with Halo,
the
it's kind of hard.
Crash Bandicoot animated series that's coming to Netflix.
Yeah,
That's Activision.
yeah, but I mean, like with Halo, it's kind of hard to do because Master Chief, you don't see his face ever in the game,
Yeah.
right? So doing a show based on that was kind of tough. If, in all honesty, they probably should have done it on ODST.
That's true. That would have been better. But you have the Mandalorian. I mean, he always has his helmet
Yeah,
on.
but you see his face. You do see his
You
face.
saw it like once.
And
that was it.
yeah, but the thing with the Mandalorians is that even like you know what they look like because you find out that Boba Fett is the clone of all the stormtroopers are his clones, so you know what their faces are.
Well, no, the
You know that
Mandalorian.
they're-
Remember, the Mandalorian is
But
somebody
no,
different.
but then you find out like in the backstory, not in the TV show, but if you dive into like the actual like story, like in the books and stuff like that,
Mhm.
you find out that the Mandalorians are a race of people, but they're also a culture, so
Yeah.
they can be all forms of different people. So
Mhm.
like them showing their faces and not showing their faces is just part of their culture. So it's kind of built into the story.
Yeah.
But in Halo, the game, it's really not. Like Master Chief is the only character who you don't really see his face. You see other Spartans' faces
Mhm.
in the other games, but his is the only one you never see.
Yeah. I guess there's that. I think they could have done it without showing his face. I
I
don't.
think they probably should have done it just without Master Chief. They should have done it,
I think so too. Like
Yeah.
having Master Chief in there was the wrong idea
wrong
in my
move.
opinion. Yeah, like they
Yeah.
they shouldn't have done that because he's an iconic video game character. It's a little bit different. Like I agree with you. I think ODST would have been a way better thing
or
'cause-
Reach,
yeah.
just like something like that.
Yeah, Reach would have been good as well. I mean, the Halo universe is big. They could have done anything, honestly. It
Yeah.
didn't have to be the characters. They could have made it something that's canon, but on a totally different area of the universe where they're fighting. And people probably would have liked it. It probably would have done a better job. The issue they had here was Master Chief, and it's like, that's not my Master Chief. Like, why is he crying and all this other stuff? Like, that was the biggest issue they had with that. But yeah, I see Microsoft trying to do that. They're probably going to start going into the media side of things. They see the success Nintendo's had with Nintendo World, with the Mario movie, and I can see them continuing that honestly with this. My biggest issue it's still the like I just don't Microsoft as a company. I don't think they even know what they want. Like there's that saying like you're so smart you're dumb. But in this sense, I don't even think they're smart. I just think they're just dumb. Like they don't know what they actually want.
It's a big ship without a rudder or without
Yeah.
a sail. Like they don't know what direction to go in.
Let's just buy more stuff.
Yeah, exactly. They bought a bunch of money, but like, what are they even asking why? Like, what is the purpose of this? Why am I buying this? Like, initially we thought, oh, it's for more exclusives. That's what it seemed like. But then now it's like, you got no exclusives. So why did you buy them in the first place? Like, did you really think it through? Did you see how much money you had in the bank? I don't know. They messed up, and that's just Microsoft as a company too. But that's another story on that. But like, yeah, Xbox. I don't know what's going on. It's sad. Very sad.
Has anyone tried the Halo combat, whatever
Campaign Evolved? It's not out yet.
campaign evolved? Oh, it's
Yeah.
not. Okay, I guess only like certain people.
No, it comes
I've
out
seen-
next year.
Yeah, next
I've
year.
seen people streaming it, so maybe they
Mm.
did like a beta release or something, or showing it like a.
Yeah, I
remember
think they had
see-
like influencers playing it. So maybe
Yeah.
they had like some B-roll from like influencers playing it. Actually, I've heard some pretty mixed reactions to it,
Yeah,
honestly.
because I
based
saw it on
that.
YouTube. I saw a couple of
Yeah.
videos of people actually trying it out.
I guess we
Yeah.
should
I
talk
don't think
about
they got
more about
released to the
campaign
public though.
campaign Evolve. So it is a full-blown remake of the first Halo game, Halo Combat Evolve. It is only the campaign, so you're not getting the multiplayer with it, which a lot of people are upset at that.
You
But-
get co-op though.
You can do co-op, 2-player split
Mm.
screen or 4-player online. I'm kind of sad about that. I wanted 4-player like there so I can play with my kids and everything, but I guess I'll have to do. But yeah, you can do 2-player split screen, 4-player online. Some people aren't happy because there is a sprint. So yes, you can sprint in this remake, which to me is not a bad thing because maybe they'll expand the maps, make them bigger since yes, it is more powerful hardware. So you can technically expand the maps so that it makes it a reason why you have to sprint versus what it is
Oh,
now.
like you're
Mhm.
not so the distance kind of like makes up for it.
Correct.
Like you getting from point A to point B, you're gonna have to sprint more
Yeah.
frequently to get there versus in the original game, you can kind of just kind of run and still get there within the same amount of time.
It's kind of like Dragon Quest 11. There is a 2D mode and there is a 3D mode. And when you play in 2D mode, technically speaking, you can beat the game faster, but the map changes because you're in 2D, so it's top down. So it's kind of easier for you to get a point A to point B, and there's an actual world map. Where in Dragon Quest 11 in 3D mode, there is no world map. You're just running through the world to get from town to town. So like it's scaled differently there. So like I can see them doing something like that, where it just scales because you have running. But the other thing too was like there's a section there where there's certain areas where you can't bring a vehicle with you. Well, in these sections, you can bring the vehicle in. I saw a developer upset. He's like, we put these there specifically because we didn't want them to bring the Warhog in there. And people were saying like, well, people found out anyways. He's like, yeah, but that was the beauty of it. People were figuring out ways to put the Warhog in there. So yeah, there's that as well. Like honestly, I'm excited. I'll go ahead and replay it. I liked Halo 1. Halo was a game that I thought was overhyped when it first came out. I still think it was overhyped. You can at
I
me or
think the
whatever.
first 2 is better than 3
Mm,
because I like in terms of enjoyment. Like I
enjoyment.
enjoyed
Yeah.
1 and 2 better than I did 3.
Yeah, 1 I like because towards the end it had it felt like a horror element where you're fighting the flood and you're running away.
Yeah,
yeah.
and there was a
Yeah.
good like ending, right?
Mhm.
Like there because you don't know if they were gonna like make a sequel or anything like that. I kind of just
2's
like
ending was trash.
it was a nice wrap.
Yeah, 2
But
just
the
ended.
yeah, but I wasn't too much into the story on 2. I was more just into like gameplay because because on 2 they added the
Dual
dual
wielding.
dual wielding
Yeah.
mechanics.
Well, that
It's
and
fun.
switching between the Arbiter and
Yeah.
Chief was also
Yeah.
pretty fun
Master
too.
Chief. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty neat. I did like. I would probably agree. I think 1 and 2 are better than 3 overall.
Remember the hype for 2? Oh my god, that hype, man.
Yeah.
That when that game was coming out, like I was working at GameStop when that came out, and that was like a midnight release. I'm pretty sure it was a big deal. And I remember when it came in, like the boxes came in, it said like, do not sell until such and such a date, like in big tape. And I got to like hold them before they came out. It was a big deal back in the day. But I missed those days. Those were fun days, like
Yeah,
those
I was
midnight
in
releases and everything.
I was in high school and I remember like people were so hyped about it and everybody's like, "You're gonna get Halo 2?" Because everybody knew I played games. I was like, "Nah, like Halo 2 is whack." Like, you don't like Halo? Like, what's that? I was like, "Yeah, I play real games like Final Fantasy." Like, that's exactly what I would tell people. It's like I play real games like Final Fantasy. But eventually, I ended up playing it.
Halo's good.
A friend of mine's he bought it. He's like, "Hey, I got Halo. You want to play together?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So I went to his house and we beat the Halo 1 campaign and then we went into Halo 2. I think I spent the night and we just played straight through. We beat 1 and 2 like back
Oh, nice.
to back. It was fun. Like it was fun playing co-op together and everything. So yeah, I'll give it that. Like I enjoy Halo now. I still think it was overrated at the time. Like the hype that it got, like in my opinion, just like yeah. But everybody likes something different, so I'll give you guys that. But yeah, that is Halo Campaign Evolved. It's coming. Do you got a release date on that, fan? I'm gonna make you the release date master. I know it's 2026. I just don't know if they
It
have an
is.
actual date. I don't think they gave a date.
I don't think they.
I don't think they have a
gave
date. I think it's just 2026,
It just
isn't
says
it?
2026.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it just says available 2026, even on Xbox's website.
Okay,
So
and that's
no
available
confirmed date.
on Xbox, of course, Steam, Microsoft Store, and yeah, PS5. And then maybe Nintendo Switch 2. Who knows? Who knows? If it comes to Switch 2, I
Well,
think
it
that'd
hasn't
be
Call
pretty
of
awesome.
Duty on Switch 2 yet. I thought that was going to be a thing.
So there was a rumor saying that Xbox got the dev kits late. So Call of Duty is supposed to be coming sometime like February or March to Switch to.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the rumors for that. And supposedly that's the same reason why Combat Evolve or Campaign Evolve is not coming to Switch 2 right now. Same reason. Supposedly. We'll see. All right, let's go ahead and talk about a console that was taking up the majority of my time when Halo 2 was coming out, and that is the PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 is now, oh man, sad to say, it is 25 years old. It came out October 26, 2000 in North America. And man, to this day, a lot of people love the PS2. And I gotta say, I love the PS2. I use the PS2 a lot more than any console at the time, for sure. And I owned all three consoles, the GameCube and the Xbox. I owned all three, including like, portables like Game Boy Advance, PSP, all that stuff. But the PS2 was definitely the console I used the most. In hindsight, I have a different opinion about the PS2. Like, I do feel that like I can go back and play GameCube games more because their games are just a little bit more fun. But the PS2, I had a lot of enjoyment with it. Now, there is something that ruined my PS2 experience. I'll tell you this. It's kind of funny. And I say ruin in terms of that it kind of stopped me from playing a whole bunch of different games. And that was Final Fantasy 11. So, was huge into Final Fantasy. Loved Final Fantasy. I remember seeing on Game Informer Final Fantasy 11, like, oh, it's an MMO. You got to play online with other people. Dude, I was so excited. And I remember I kept telling my parents, I want to get this, I want to get this, I want to get this. Well, I don't remember how it happened. I just know that something happened, and my parents were like, here, we're going to get you this because of something. I can't remember what it was. I don't know, it was my grades or a late birthday gift or whatever the case might be. I remember going to GameStop, or maybe it was EB Games. I think it was EB Games because at that time, the mall that I went to had both GameStop and EB Games. And I was
before the
like,
merger.
yeah, before the merger. So went over there and I was like, I want to get Final Fantasy 11, but I needed to have the hard drive. And what happens is Final Fantasy 11 came in this big box. You had the disc there, and it came with the hard drive. And the hard drive attached to the hard drive was the Ethernet adapter, so you can go ahead and connect it. But then I remember getting it, and I was like, wait a minute, I have no way to plug this in. And I was so mad. I was like, I got this game, got this, but I can't play it because we had a router. Router was in the living room. I wanted to play it in my room. And at that time, none of the consoles had wireless. Like, there was no way to have wireless. You had to hardwire everything. So my dad did some research, and he's like, hey, let's go to Best Buy. They have this cool thing that you can actually get wireless internet. I was like, are you serious? I was like, yeah. So we went over there, bought this little Linksys device. It was like a rectangle, and it had a little antenna. And you would connect it you were connecting to the PS2. And then, I don't know what it was. Like, it ran on some random frequency. Like, I don't know how it worked. I know there was different channels. And you would press the channel, and it would get you different Wi-Fi networks. But it would use, like, your router. So it's pretty much like a range extender, I guess. But at that time, you didn't need a password. So it just grabbed it and gave
So it
my
was like
PS2 internet.
Wi-Fi direct between your router into your PS2.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It allowed for that to work. And it would, like, the boot up of Play Online, which was another anniversary that happened recently, which was Square Enix's kind of like game launcher, I guess you will. You boot up Play Online.
Speaking of which, do you remember the Final Fantasy 9 guide that was all Play Online enhanced? It was awful. The official Final Fantasy 9 guide. Oh God,
I do
it was so
remember that.
bad. Go to playonline.com and type in the keyword Zidane to find out how to find his ultimate weapon. It's like, no, I paid $20 for this guide. Tell me in the guide how to do it. Anyway, continue.
That was their push to try to get Play Online to be a thing, but it was kind of cool. So you had to download the game. Took forever to download because I don't know what download speeds were at the time. I had at the time we had Roadrunner, I think, was over here, which was before it became, I don't know what it is today. But anyways, we had Roadrunner, which was cable internet, modern internet, if you want to call it.
That was Time Warner, and Time Warner is now Spectrum, I think.
Is this okay? So Spectrum, which is what I have right now. Full circle.
Yeah.
but we had the Roadrunner, and like it took forever to download, but the music of Play Online was just so like amazing. Like to this day, I just search up like Play Online music because it had great music in the background. It was nice, chill music. You can customize Play Online, and they had Tetramaster as another game you can play, which is kind of cool. So you play online Tetramaster against other players, which is kind of neat. But anyways, Final Fantasy 11 just destroyed me. Like going into that world was amazing. So many people were playing this game. Like I kid you not. Just like at the time, I remember going in, creating my character, you get your introduction story, and then you're out. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like Sword Art Online or any of these like, isekai animes where it's like a bunch of people are in the main town just starting off just like you. And that was like the coolest experience. You go into like that beginning area and everybody's trying to figure out like how to play this game, how it works. It's a brand new experience. Nobody knew how this game worked. Nobody knew the mechanics. Nobody knew like how to you do your abilities, what do the abilities do, how to change job classes, all that other good stuff. So yeah, that ruined my PS2 experience. Because of that, I did not play any other PS2 game for a very, very long time, for at least 5 years. At least 5 years.
Jeez.
Yeah.
There's some bangers on the PS2, man.
There is. I played a lot. Just after I got that game, I was like, all right, I don't care about anything else. I think the only game that got me off of Final Fantasy 11 was Kingdom Hearts 2. Oh, and Final Fantasy 12. Yeah, I did gotta say Final Fantasy 12 also got me off there. But yeah, like what are some of your guys' very like memorable PS2 experiences?
I got a couple, but Fan, if you want to go first, go ahead.
Turning the logo.
Oh yeah,
from
vertical and horizontal. That was so cool. That was such a nice little touch that they included the ability to do that.
Yeah, because you were able to like play the console either vertically or horizontally.
Yeah,
like it was like the first one that actually gave you a different way of like positioning your console.
Oh, so fun fact too. They sold. At least I think they did, because I don't remember. The stand was separate, just like it is today. So
it felt very futuristic too. By the way, when you like put your vertically, it was like a monolith. Like that felt very futuristic in 2000 for sure.
You know what's funny is back then I didn't know about like heat dissipation and any of that stuff. So I had my PS2 in a cubby, and I always wondered like, why is it so loud? I didn't realize it's because it's not getting any air. But yeah, that's another thing. That and it having the hard drive in it also made it really hot too.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have a disc read error console? No. It was like a big deal where PSUs would get this error when you put a disc in called disc read error. It was like kind of their version. It was kind of like their version of like the Red Ring of Death, where it just stopped reading discs completely. And I think I went through like 2 or 3 PS2s that did that, where they just stopped reading discs, and that was very painful. But anyway, I digress. Continue, Fan.
I mean, I had some like I actually never owned a PS2. So growing up, the way it worked is my cousin always had the Sony console, and I always had the Nintendo console. So we would always go to each other's houses, play the games, and then I had a game Dreamcast, and then I also had an Xbox. So like I was the first to get the Xbox, and then he got an Xbox at one point. So we didn't have a lot of like the same consoles a lot at the same time. So we would always kind of like rotate on.
Was that done on purpose?
We play. No, it kind of just felt that way. Like it just kind of felt, because my first experience in gaming was actually going to my cousin, because he would get a Super Nintendo or a Nintendo, and then I played, and then I somehow convinced my parents to buy me one. So Nintendo obviously was our first like foray into gaming, but once we got to a certain point where like I'm buying it myself or like saving up money, I just stuck with Nintendo. He went with Sony, and then we just kind of kept it that way. And then it just, in terms of spending money, it just made more sense.
Yeah. But you, Brian?
Yeah, I have a very, very, very fond memory of PlayStation 2 in particular. I've probably told this story before, but maybe you guys forgot, or I'll just tell it again. But when PlayStation 2 came out, the local software, etc., that was here had pre-orders available, but it was one of those things where I heard about the pre-orders too late, and so by the time I got to the store to try to pre-order it, it was like, oh, we're on the 4th shipment, and it was like you might not get it until next year or something like that. And so my mom and I would go to Software Etc. and like talk to this manager who's just like kind of like the stereotypical kind of douchey like retail manager kind of guy. Where I mean, he wasn't like outwardly mean, but he just was kind of like too cool for school. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. You might get to the third shipment. You might get to the second shipment. You know, let's pre-order you a bunch of games. Maybe you'll be able to get up to the second shipment." And it kept on like talking about what shipment we were on and how many they were getting. And it just was really like, I don't feel good about this. Like, I want to know for sure what I'm getting. So one day, my mom and I went to Gurney Mills, which is just like a suburb of Chicago. It's a mall, and there was a Software Etc. there. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just go in there and let's just see what the current shipment looks like what shipment they're on. Like just for the heck of it, I had zero expectations. So I go in there, talk to the manager, super nice guy. I'm like, hey, my mom and I are here. We're from Wisconsin. Like, what's your guys' shipment at right now for pre-order PS2? He's like, I actually just had one cancel. You can pre-order a PS2 right now. It'll be available for you on the day that we get it. The only thing is you have to pay for it in full right now. And I said to my mom, I'm like, Mom, this is what I want for Christmas. This is what I want for my birthday. And she paid for it, and that was that. So I got it for shipment. It was like such a cool memory. Is that the night that it came out, they were doing a midnight release at this mall for it, and it would have been October 26th or whatever you said it was, or it was technically the night of October 25th going into 26th or whatever. And my mom and I drove to Gurney, which is it's like a 35-minute drive from my house, and it was after my dad went to work because my mom didn't want my dad to know that we were doing it because he was no fun. He wouldn't be down with that, but we went, and because he worked third shift, and so we drove there, and we went in there, and they had like a kiosk set up with a PlayStation 2, and people were playing like Madden and SSX on it, and I was just blown away by the graphics and just like talking to a bunch of gamers and stuff. I would have been 13 at the time. Yeah, I was 13 at the time, eighth grade or whatever, and um, it was just like a really cool buzz filled atmosphere, right? Of people just very excited to get their console and everything. And then eventually midnight came, and or like quarter to 12 came, and everybody got like a number, like well, you're number 3, you're getting it, you're gonna be third in line to get it. And they had all the consoles in the back, and then midnight hit, and we all like took our place, and I got my console that had like the number 3 on it with like a piece of paper taped to it, and I got it, and then I brought it home. I hooked it up. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. I had to go to school the next day. But I played like SSX a little bit and Tekken Tag tournaments and like Silent Scope and stuff. And I was just like totally blown away. I'm like, I do not want to go to school tomorrow. But my mom's like, you got to go to school tomorrow. So I went to school the next day, and I told all my friends I got a PlayStation 2, and immediately like everybody wanted to have a sleepover at my house. And so that ended up happening that weekend. And so like a bunch of my friends came over, and we played like Tekken Tag tournament, Silent Scope, SSX, Madden, all the mainstays that were that launch, Ridge Racer 5. And there were actually some pretty decent launch games for PS2. Yeah, so that's just a really special memory for me getting a console. It's probably one of the only consoles I can really remember specifically, like to call out like how and when I got it and how like special it was. Because I mean, my PlayStation 5. I remember I got that on a huge price error from the retailer. I got it for like $25 from the retailer. Um, it was a mistake. I don't know how I got it for that, but they shipped it to me, and that's how much they charged me for it. I have no idea how that worked, but that's how I got it for that cheap. My Xbox, I remember getting that with like Halo and Jet Set Radio Future and all the rest. And I remember opening up my Super Nintendo when I was like 5 years old for Christmas, and that was a very special memory too. Actually, I should take that back. That's a good memory too. Game like Mario World and F-Zero, and for some reason I got Ultraman, and that game was way too hard for me, and it's considered one of the worst Super Nintendo games. But yeah, so PlayStation 2, I just remember playing Final Fantasy X for the first time and being blown away by how much better it looked than the PlayStation Final Fantasies. And even though Final Fantasy X isn't considered in my upper echelon now, at the time it blew me away just because how amazing it looked and how amazing it sounded and had voice acting and everything. There's like good, like awesome fighting games. Like I said, Tekken Tag Tournament, Dead or Alive, some kind of indie games, kind of like Guitaru Man. I freaking love Guitaru Man. I hope they bring that back one day. Never really got into Final Fantasy 12. I guess the MMO light aspect of it kind of turned me off, so I never bothered playing it. But yeah, I mean, you got Killzone, the Killzone games, Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank. There was just the Zone of the Enders, Metal Gear Solid 2. There's just a lot of really heavy hitters on PlayStation 2, and It definitely, it's probably like the last time we're going to see such a huge jump in quality between PS1 and PS2, because the jump between like PS2 and PS3 and Xbox 360, like there was a jump, but it wasn't like gigantic. But when you look at like Final Fantasy 7 compared to Final Fantasy 10, it's a joke. I mean, considering the difference. And I just feel like we're probably not going to get that much of a jump in technology. I don't think ever again. I mean, maybe, but
No.
yeah. So it's kind of a mainstay. It makes me feel very old, or a milestone. It makes me feel very old that it came out, a quarter of a century ago, and I remember getting it, and I'm 38, and yeah. So that's fun, James. Thanks for reminding me that, thanks for
No,
reminding me of our mortal coils and everything.
no, it's funny. Like when I go back and think about it, when it comes to the PS2, like my biggest memory is Final Fantasy 11. But I do remember, like I don't know how it works. So my dad, he says that he did something with people's cars. Like he owned a shop, and he would do like car stereo and stuff like that. But he said that sometimes they will pay him with stuff like that. So like the PS1, he said that he got it that way. The PS2, he said the same thing. Game Boy Advance, it was the same thing. And I remember because it would come and
Oh,
it's a white box. And I was like, what is this white box? It looks like a white box that you would put like donuts in or something like that. But then he opens it up, it's a bunch of
or like
PS2
clothes. Yeah,
games. I'm like,
nice.
what the? And we had like Street Fighter EX3, um, shoot, I don't remember what, or EX2, I'm sorry. I don't remember what games we had on PS2 when it first came out. Unreal
Time Splitters,
Tournament. No, we had Unreal Tournament though.
Smuggler's Run. Um,
No.
what was that? There's a From game. Eternal Ring. I think was it called Eternal Ring? That was this
No.
From Soft game.
I don't think we
Evergrace. That
had
was another
that.
one.
Those are the only two that I could remember. And then I don't remember the time frame. I know when I first played Final Fantasy X though, I rented it because we would do a lot of renting from Blockbuster. And I remember renting Final Fantasy X. I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like you like that whole intro where Titus is in the like sitting down, and then like the lights start and the music, like the Jack's theme comes on, and like the thing starts filling up with water and all that. Like the whole intro was amazing. But playing that, and I remember Kingdom Hearts. Like a lot of the way I would learn about games, probably like you and Fan, was through Game Informer. Look through Game Informer. I was like, oh man, this is
Oh,
kind of cool. Fun fact. For the longest time, I would take the magazines thinking they were free, not realizing you had to pay for them. So, yeah, and nobody ever said
no,
anything, so I would just take
I
them.
didn't do that. What I did was like when my mom goes to the grocery store to go shopping,
Mhm.
she would just leave me in the magazine aisle, and I would just sit there and go
I
through
would
the
do the same thing
magazines.
too, yeah, but I
Yeah.
would just take them with me, and then, like, my mom's not paying attention, and I'm here just reading through it and leaving, and nobody ever stopped me, and then finally one time my
Those
mom
GameStop employees
noticed,
didn't care.
like yeah, GameStop didn't care, and then finally I was like, "Wait, I used to get these for free." It's like, "You're not supposed to get these for free, you're supposed to subscribe to it." It's like, "Oh, okay." But, yeah, so, like, I would go through, and that's how I would find out about different games, but I remember playing, like, Mobile Suit Gundam: Journey to Jaburo, which
I
was
remember that.
yeah, like, I was a huge Gundam fanatic. After watching Gundam Wing, I was like, "I need everything Gundam." I also had another Gundam game, which I did love a lot, and this was pre-Final Fantasy 11. It was, what was it? Zeonic
Wasn't
Front.
like a versus one.
There was a PS2 versus one and a PS1 versus one. There was, like, Battle Assault, which is PS1, and PS2 also had one. But I had a Gundam Zeonic Front, which was like Rainbow Six. So squad base. You go on these missions and you have three different teams and you're a group of different Gundams and you'll go through and like do these story missions. Fun game. I think in today's world, like the battle mechanics are not that fun. Because it was kind of slow shooting and stuff. It was very strategic, but it was cool nonetheless, because you were playing on the Xeon side, and like it was kind of neat to see like their side, and you're kind of like feeling for them because usually you're always on the Earth Federation, so you kind of only see that side. Sad story. Fun fact, because I'm sure nobody will ever play this game because it doesn't play good, but everybody dies. So your whole
Oh,
team dies. It's pretty cool, and it's very sad the way it happens, because then like you have like these. The UI is pretty cool. They make it look like the dashboard of what you would be seeing in a Gundam, so you can see like the different cameras, the different radars, and all of that. In the final battle, it's like your Xeon mobile suit is all messed up, and it's like all like crashing, and you're fighting a Gundam. Well, guess what? We know Gundams you can't beat. Well, yeah, that's how that happens. So pretty cool game, nonetheless. But yeah, that's
The game
Mhm.
that I was talking about was Federation versus Xeon.
Yeah, I had the second version. I think no, I had
Mm.
Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, which was basically the same thing. So it had Federation versus Xeon in it, but it also had the Zeta Gundam story in it as well, which was pretty
Mm.
cool. And the way that works is like you beat the Zeta Gundam story, and then you can get the Federation versus Xeon story after it. So it had like 2 games in one, which they don't do that no more.
And
But
there's Dynasty Warriors Gundam, which was pretty cool too.
that was cool. That was PS3 though.
I thought there
But
was one on, there wasn't one on PS2?
mm-mm. Yeah, that I know for a fact because like I got Dynasty Warriors on Xbox 360 actually. That's where I bought it on there, and Dynasty Warriors Gundam too. But what else? Kingdom Hearts. Like I remember reading about Kingdom Hearts. Like, oh, this is gonna be the coolest thing ever. Like you have Final Fantasy characters in here, and then I saw Disney. I was like, oh, like it's gonna be a kids game, but I bought it anyways and had a blast. Had some sports games. Had a lot of Madden games. I had some MLB games on there as well. I had NBA Street. Like I loved NBA Street and I
Oh
would
yeah, I
play that
love
a
NBA
lot.
Street. That was good for
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
I had also there was a game called what's it called? I think it was just called and one Street Ball, which was I don't know if anybody remembers. And one was kind of like a street ball type basketball. And you had
Yeah.
these people who did like these crazy like tricks and stuff like that. Fun fact, I was like big into basketball at that time. I was playing basketball like on our middle school team and everything. But like I had
Yeah.
this
What
game.
position were you?
I don't even remember. So years ago, like it was years ago. I do not remember. But played it a lot, playing street ball and loved it. I loved the music because they had like like Exhibit and like all these other like rappers in it. And it was like music that I've always listened to. So like they had that, but there were instrumental versions that were playing in the background, which I always thought was kind of cool because you barely hear instrumentals. But I played that a lot. GTA 3, of course, when that came out. I think I rented it, and my parents did not know what Grand Theft Auto was at all. And yeah, because they probably knew. Well, they did find out because my dad got Vice City, and I think I told this story before, but he only got Vice City because he heard it was like Scarface, and he loved Scarface, and sure enough, Vice City was like Scarface, but he did play that quite often. What else did I get? Final Fantasy 12, of course. Loved Final Fantasy 12. It's the first game that I maximized that counter. The counter maxes out at 9999999. So it's like 999 hours and 999 minutes. And I max out the counter. Because I play that game that much. Why and how can you have that much time in it? I don't know. I just know I play that game that much. What else? Zone of the Enders, like you mentioned. That was my other Gundam fix because I wanted a good game that was like Gundam, but it wasn't Gundam, and Zone of the Enders was that. And then,
Yeah.
of course, Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3. I remember buying Metal Gear Solid 3. I was so excited. And it was like kind of like what you had with your experience with the midnight launch, but I bought it. It was late at night, had school the next day. Seeing that intro, I was like, oh, this is so cool. I had a surround sound unit that my dad had bought me for, I think, my birthday the year before Metal Gear Solid 3 came out. And just listening to it on my surround sound like was like the best thing ever. I was super hyped about that. But yeah, love that intro. What else? SOCOM. That was another game I
Mm.
played online. Battlefield 2.
Mm.
Also about Battlefield 2 was funny. My uncle bought it for me because he wanted me to get off of Final Fantasy 11. And he's like, why don't you play this? It's like, nah, that game's whack. He's like, well, I'm getting this for your birthday, whether you like it or not. I was like, well, I'm not going to play it. He goes, no, you're going to play it because I'm spending money on you. I was like, well, I don't want to play it. Well, I ended up playing it and I actually ended up enjoying it. And funny thing was that there was somehow I played a demo. I don't know how. I was able to play a demo of Battlefield 2. I played it online using the adapter. I to this day I can't remember how I did it, but I was able to play it, and that's how I knew that I was going to enjoy Battlefield 2 because I played it beforehand. But anyways, yeah, I played Battlefield 2 a lot. Did enjoy it. That's kind of it. I didn't play the main what we know as the PlayStation mascots today. I didn't play any of those games. I didn't play Sly Cooper, Jack and Dexter. Uh,
Well, Jackson Dexter was good.
Never played it.
Yeah. I was in the PS2 era. I was big into fighting games, so I played a lot of Tekken 3, Tekken Tag.
I did play Tekken Tag, not Tekken 3, and I played Tekken 4 or 5. The one that adds what's her name? Asuka, I think it is her name.
Okay.
Like Jin's like cousin. That was the last one that I played. Most of my fighting games I got was on GameCube. So like Capcom versus SNK 2. And I was playing like the Naruto. Oh, I played a lot of the Naruto Ultimate Ninja games too, because I was big into Naruto at the time. Oh, and the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games. How can I forget about that? I played all the Budokai games on there. A lot of fun. Trying to think what excuse me, what's some other maybe niche games that a lot of people don't talk about on PS2 that you played?
Oh, it's like Guitaru Man, Mr. Mosquito is
Yeah, I
another
never
one.
played that.
The Bouncer. I mean, that's kind of a niche game, even though it's Square Enix.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, there was another game that was like a beat 'em ups. Because the bouncer, there's a game that you choose like 4 different characters. It was a beat 'em up game on PS2, and I want to say it came out around the first 2 years of the PS2, and I remember playing that a bit as well. I don't remember the name of the game
let's see if I
though,
can find it.
but remember playing that game.
Urban Rain, uh, Beatdown, Final Fight, Crimson Tears. I don't know. Fighting Force? Maybe Fighting Force. I didn't know that was on PS2. It's on PlayStation, but
How does Fighting Force look?
I think it's a core game. It's a game
Yeah,
by
it was
developer
for
called Core.
Fighting
That's
Force.
it.
Yeah. What
Fighting
was that,
Force.
PS1 or PS2? Oh no, maybe it was PS1.
It's
Yeah.
PS1.
No,
So
I
then
remember playing the Bouncer.
let's see.
It was a beat 'em ups game.
Yeah.
With the bouncer, you're only one character.
Yeah, you play as that. Well,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, I think you can play as all of them, can't you? At some point.
You can swap out. I'm pretty sure you can
Yeah.
swap out.
Yeah,
see.
you don't just play as the kid with the spiky hair. You
Yeah,
play.
because
You can
there
play as
was
the other
multiple
pals.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know another game. I played the Warriors game.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dynasty Warriors.
No, not Dynasty
Oh, here's
Warriors.
Oh,
Warriors.
the Warriors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Warriors
like the movie.
come out and play.
Yeah. I remember playing that. It was actually a good game.
Oh, I thought of another one that's kind of niche. It's very appropriate given what we were just talking about. But the first time, Halo is actually not the first. Oh, I guess technically this isn't Bungie, but there's a Bungie game on PlayStation 2 called Oni. It wasn't very good, but
Oh,
it was
yeah,
another Bungie game.
Oh yeah, that game. I remember that game.
Yeah.
I'm
Beautiful
trying to
Joe.
think of like.
I got
Well, I
that
played that on the
GameCube.
GameCube. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I'm trying to
my
think of what games I played on PS2. Dead to Rights, True Crime.
didn't play any of those.
Mm. I know I did a lot of the Ratchet and the Clank. That's typically because I
Yeah, I
was
didn't
still
play
the
any
way
of Ratchet and
that you
Clank.
can play it on.
Yeah, any of the PlayStation mascots, I never played them. I just didn't care for them. What's some RPGs? I feel like what's funny is like Persona 3 and 4 were out, and I didn't play any of those on PS2.
Like, I mean, would you consider that Musashi game you and I have talked about a couple
Oh,
times?
yeah.
Would you consider that an RPG, like an action RPG, I guess?
Yeah, it's like an action RPG. Yeah, that one I really enjoyed.
Me
Very
too.
short, but I enjoyed it.
God, why can't I only think of PlayStation or Final Fantasy? Or I can only think of Final Fantasy RPGs. There's definitely more. Grandia 3 was that on PS? Or no, was that PS3 or PS2?
Grandia, I think Grandia 2
3.
I played on PS2.
Yeah, they did bring it there. Let me see. I think Grandia 3 was a PS2 game.
Shinobi.
Yeah, it was.
Played.
Did I play Grandia? No, I never played Grandia 3. I played Grandia 2. So, I feel like I played like a lot of RPGs on PS2. I don't know why I can't think like you. I can't think of any Final Fantasy. I played the demo, or I played a little bit of Dragon Quest 8. And at that time, I told this story before, but like I did not like it. I was like, this music is lame. I do not want to have anything to do with this. The main reason I wanted to try it out was, Kira Toriyama's art. I was like, oh, this kind of looks cool. And since then, I was like, no, like this game is gonna make me throw up. I don't want to play it no more. And then I booted up because at that time, for you to play the Final Fantasy 12 game or get the demo, you had to buy Final Fantasy 8. Or Dragon Quest 8. I'm sorry. So you bought Dragon Quest 8, you got the demo disc to Final Fantasy 12. And my friend who I played Halo with had bought that so he can play the Final Fantasy 12 demo. And he enjoyed Dragon Quest 8. At the time, I was like, no, this is lame. But in hindsight, and after playing Dragon Quest 8 later on, it's a really good game. Highly recommend it.
I like Dark Cloud. Those Dark Cloud games
Dark
are kind of
Cloud
cool.
1 and 2 was amazing. I love those
Yep.
games. Oh, Rogue Galaxy. Before we
Oh,
started
yeah,
the
for sure.
podcast, I was going to
Level
mention that.
5, yeah.
Yeah, Rogue Galaxy is an amazing game. If you have not played Rogue Galaxy, do yourself a favor and play this game. The game is top tier and probably one of the best RPGs on PS2, if not, the best RPG on PS2. Like, as much as I love Final Fantasy X and it's my favorite Final Fantasy, Rogue Galaxy is very close. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. It came out towards the end of the PS2's life cycle, but I guarantee you play it, you will enjoy it. There's so much to do in that game. The battle system is really great. The story is really great. So voice acting is amazing. At the time, Batman Beyond was huge. So the voice actor to Terry McGinnis is the main character's voice actor.
Oh, cool.
And it's just like they have a good cast of characters and everything. Like it's a top tier game. It's available on PS5. You can play it and it has trophy support. So you can get trophies in it, which is kinda cool.
Nice. Xenosaga.
Yeah, I never played Xenosaga.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
Baldur's
remember
Gate
always
1 and
wanting
2.
it. Yeah, Baldur's Gate I did play. I did play it on there.
Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 2. Those games were fun.
Yeah, Xenosaga, I remember I always wanted to play.
I'm surprised you never played that, especially considering how much you love
Chronicles?
Xenoblade, yeah.
Yeah. I never played it. I always saw it. I remember seeing like videos like when YouTube first started coming out. I remember seeing videos about it and seeing gameplay. But I never played it. I remember watching like walkthroughs of it as well. Like back then, I would just watch walkthroughs and I would just, I don't know, like just see game, and there was no commentary or anything like that. So you're just watching the whole game and then you'll continue. Soul Calibur 3. There was 2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming. That's coming to
I think is
PS
it out
Plus.
already? Or
I don't think so.
okay.
I just had one. I can't think of it. I was literally just gonna say it. Oh, Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2. Those are supposed to be really good RPGs too.
Yeah, never played those either.
Okay.
I feel like there's something else that I'm missing.
I'm just trying to think of like niche like pieces because I mean we have the regular stuff that everyone like the heavy hitters like God of War, Resident Evil 4.
I forgot God of War started on PS2.
All that stuff, but I'm just trying to think of the ones that like people may not have.
Yeah,
Shadow Hearts.
Oh, I mean, how can we forget Devil May Cry? It's not. Yeah, but like Devil May Cry
niche,
started there. It's not
that's
niche.
Not
but
niche. That's a heavy hitter.
That. And then Code Veronica.
That game kind of started the whole like M rating or whatever.
Yeah. Code Veronica X2. That was the way I played. I didn't play it on Dreamcast. I waited till the X came out. Yeah, never. I didn't play Shadow Colossus on PS2. Played it on PS3, but not on PS2.
Okay. Then obviously we got Sons of Liberty. But I'm just trying to think of like.
I think we
Beyond Good and
cast
Evil?
a pretty wide net.
Okami?
Beyond Good and Evil. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Okami.
Okami.
Yeah, Capcom was top tier there.
Oh yeah.
I still feel like there's a lot of like games that we're not even mentioning, but like it just shows you how good the PS2 was and how amazing PS2 is, especially when you compare it to like PS5 that doesn't have, I feel like, nowhere near as many games for us to mention like that. And a lot of the games that we mentioned,
that's niche.
That is. A lot of the games we mentioned too are exclusive on PS2. Some of them are not. Like Okami was available on GameCube, I believe, as well, if I'm not mistaken. I know Viewful Joe was.
Yep.
For sure. We mentioned Soul Calibur 2, but like I think all of us, or at least me and Brian, I'm pretty sure we played the GameCube version over the PS2 because nobody cared about Heihachi. We wanted Link.
I got on an Xbox 2 to play as Spawn, but yeah, I absolutely wanted to play as Link back in the day.
Yep, that was the best part.
A lot of the like multi-platform games, I played on like a GameCube. So like Tales of the Phony, I actually played on the GameCube. I didn't play it on the PS2.
I don't think it
So,
came on PS2 in the US, only in Japan.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. Like
But
most of the
there are like a lot of like yeah, like like what's
Resident
that
Evil
Primal
4, but because that came out
Fury?
first on GameCube, and then like I think a year or two later it came out on PS2. What was the other game you said?
Like it's a fighting game. Was it called like Primal Fury or something like that? Or the where you turn into beasts like
Oh
animals?
no, that's
Bloody Roar?
Bloody Roar,
Bloody
that's what it's
Roar.
called. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
it's Bloody
Bloody
Roar.
Roar. Like yeah, I played that on the GameCube instead of on the
Mhm.
Sony platforms. Just I think it just ran smoother.
What was it? Enter the Matrix? Did anybody here play
Oh
that?
yeah.
That
I
game
never
was
played it, but that was
fun.
a big deal when like the Matrix movies were coming out.
It was a pretty good game. Like I don't know if it
Yeah.
holds up to today, but I remember playing it and I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And it's kind of cool because the cutscenes were live action. So you had the characters that were in the second part in there, which was what's her name? Jada Pinkett Smith's
Mm.
character. Like she was in the game, which was kind of cool. And then you had the other guy that was with that was like her partner in there as well, which is kind of cool. Uh yeah, I mean, PS2, amazing. 25 years. And I just think that era of gaming in general was probably, I think that was the best era of gaming. What do you say?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, it depends on what nostalgia means to you. Because for me, like the happiest and best memories I have of gaming is like NES and SNES. Like
Hmm.
PlayStation 2 is when things started getting kind of adult and, and
Yeah,
kind of dark
Yeah,
and stuff
mine
like
mine
that.
was
So
more N64, Xbox,
okay,
PS1
yeah.
era.
for you. Mm.
Yeah,
I love PS2. Don't get me wrong. I
Hmm.
mean,
yeah.
that's just like that's like when I started high school and stuff got real, and you know,
Yeah. Well, I just think about it like for me, like my happiest, it's funny, like I mentioned this before, my happiest memories were like some of the darker times I had
mm,
in my life where it's just like it's more my adult life, right? Of hey, like I'm working and constantly like having to go ahead and do this and not like none of that's changed because you still gotta work all the time to freaking make a living here. But a lot of those memories I have is like playing the Vita and the 3DS, and a lot of it's just nostalgia music. Like every time I hear Gravity Rush's music for the first town,
oh
it's
yeah,
just
that's good stuff.
yeah, very good music and very
Do
nostalgic.
do 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 do
Yeah,
do.
amazing music like that's stuff. But when I think in hindsight, like PS2, GameCube era, and Xbox, because I love Knights of the Old Republic. I'll give Halo its thing. I I don't know. I do feel like that was probably w- I'll say one of the best eras because it is an argument for the N64 era as well. Even though PlayStation N64 era, I didn't have as many games, I think, as the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox era. I definitely had a lot more in that era versus the PS1. But PS1 era is nostalgic for me because I told you guys this story. I would just burn the games onto this and go ahead and do that. That was my thing. Shout out to PS1 and Sony. About you guys making mistakes on these copyrighted stuff, I would not be into technology how I am today because that did spark my curiosity. When I started learning things, it's like, oh, what if you can do this? What if you can do that? And then the PSP with the whole battery mod to be able to
Yeah,
hack
I
it.
did that. I
Yep.
did that. That was pretty cool. I felt like a genius when I followed like I you put
Yep.
the little etching in the battery or whatever to bypass it. I felt like a freaking like hacker. It was really cool.
Yep. Like all of that stuff like got me into where I'm at today in terms of technology and all the different things that I like outside of gaming. So yeah. PS2, 25 years old. Yeah, 25 years old. Don't even look at how old the Super Nintendo or the NES is.
Yeah, it's just real quick before I know we're probably gonna be ending, but what's really
Yeah.
interesting is like I was playing Luigi's Mansion, today, and I was thinking to myself, this game is 24 years old.
Mhm.
And in my head, I'm like, 24 years old is like
You can rent a
Link to the
car.
Past or something,
Yeah.
And it's like, no, Link to the Past is like going on 40 years old, bro. Like
Yeah.
Luigi's Mansion's 24 years old. It's like, how is that possible? But that's what it is.
It's like just yesterday I was playing like, Soul Calibur 2. Like to me Soul Calibur 2 is still not that old, but it is Very old. Any of those games on GameCube, you look at it like, well, they're that old. Even Super Nintendo games for me don't seem that old, but they are very old. Unfortunately, NES. I will say that NES. It's hard for me to go back to a lot of NES games. It's just I don't know. I just can't. Super Nintendo.
He's not a true
Doctors
gamer.
aren't
It's
there
okay.
anymore.
Just kidding.
But I can go back to Game Boy games though.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Game Boy games hold up a lot better than NES games. Do you agree? Disagree?
I disagree.
Regular
Disagree.
Game Boy games?
Yeah, regular Game Boy games. Like I was playing, the Castlevania game that's on the Nintendo Switch Online for Game Boy.
It's also in the Castlevania Anniversary Collection too. It's not bad,
Is
but
it?
it's not. Yeah, it is.
No, that one's not.
The Castlevania game for Game Boy is on the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. If we're talking about the same one,
the one that has like a female as the main character. I don't think that one's
I'll
on
look it
there.
up.
Yeah, double check because
Oh,
I had
really?
that Anniversary Collection. And I remember, and the only reason I played on Nintendo Switch Online was because it wasn't on there. Unless I missed it.
Female protagonist. You said it's a female protagonist?
Yeah, well, I can bring up my Switch and see what it is.
Castlevania Legends. That's what it was called. Okay, so
Let me see.
Castlevania Anniversary Collection games.
Hold on, I'm sorry if you're hearing that. Where's my Game Boy?
Oh, you're right. It's not in there. I've never even heard of that game. It's Castlevania The Adventure is in there from Game Boy, and Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge is on there. I've never even heard of Castlevania Legends. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That game isn't on there.
And it's pretty fun. I played a lot of hours in it, and it's fun and it holds up. It's a game that I've never
I'm gonna
played
YouTube
before.
that. I've never even heard of it.
Yeah. Oh man, it's saying I gotta take off space off my micro SD card because my micro SD card is full. I need that 1 terabyte micro SD card for my Switch too. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Appreciate everybody for joining. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Tomorrow, I'll be back streaming, doing some more Pokemon Legends ZA. And who knows? Maybe I'll get to the end tomorrow. Guess we'll find out.
And
Mhm.
we're not going to do a podcast next Thursday. We're moving it to Sunday.
Correct. So this will be the last podcast for now on Thursday. Starting next week, we will not be back on Thursday. We'll be back on that following Sunday, which is the
9th.
The 9th. Yeah, so 9th at 9:00 p.m. Eastern. We will be doing the podcast then, so definitely stay tuned for that. As far as solo streams go, I'll probably still continue them on Friday unless I decide to do them on a different day. We'll see where we go from there. But yeah, appreciate everybody for joining. Brian, where can I catch you at?
I'm at red_so_deep on Twitter.
And real quick, what is your favorite game on the PS2?
Shadow of the Colossus.
All right. Fan, where can I catch you at?
Phaneckswhy at all the socials.
And what is your favorite game on the PS2?
Kingdom Hearts.
All right.
Are you just trying to make James happy? No, I'm kidding.
No, that
No, I'm
opening
kidding.
song is
yeah, sure.
top tier.
It's peak. Oh yeah.
Do they
Simple
play it
and
at the radio
Simple and
stations,
clean.
like on the normal radio stations where you guys lived?
I don't remember hearing it on the radio.
No?
Yeah, I don't remember hearing it.
Yeah, and they played it where we lived. I remember because a bunch of kids would call in and say, play Simple and Clean. And it played quite often. And I remember, like, on the radio, they're like, yeah, all these kids keep calling for this Simple and Clean game. And then somebody's talking, yeah, it seems that, my son plays a game called Kingdom Hearts and it's on there. And everyone's like, it's a good song. And they even did, like, at night, they would do, like, the DJ mix. And they had the more, like, dance version of that. And they would play that also at night. Yeah, so
that song is really good. Like, whatever you think about Kingdom Hearts, like I watched Hikaru Utada do a live or not do like a recording of that song. I think recently, or she performed it like live in his studio, and like, oh my god, the vocals, like her vocals in that song are just they give you goosebumps, like they give you tears in your eyes, man. Anyway,
yeah,
good choice.
And as always, you can catch me right here. I will say my favorite game on the PS2. I'm gonna give it a Rogue Galaxy because I think everybody should play Rogue Galaxy.
Wow, not Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X's your baby.
It is, but like I want to shout out Rogue Galaxy and Level 5 because people don't realize Level 5 was and to this day they still are pretty good, but they did a lot of work. Fun fact: Level 5 was actually the team behind Dragon Quest 8. So they did all of Dragon Quest 8 and Dragon Quest 9. Those were the 2 games that they worked on. So Level 5 was carrying. There's a Dark Cloud 2, Level 5. A lot of people didn't like it on PS3. I enjoyed it. White Knight Chronicles 2. They also did that as well. Very good game. So yeah, Rogue Galaxy. Play it. It's on PS5. You can buy it. It's $20.
I own it.
And it has trophy support if you love trophies. So pretty awesome. It is 4K. Looks amazing. Widescreen. All that other good stuff. It definitely deserved what it has on PS5 because back then I remember I was like, there's no way games could look this good because it's a really good art style. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. We will catch you guys next time.